Today we're going to be talking about recent floods in the UK, sinkholes and earthquakes. Just noticed a few cameras up there, maybe you can see them. Just using an iPad. Before we get on with the news, I'll just show you something. I planted my spuds. It's February. It's not supposed to be 10 degrees. You don't plant spuds until March because you won't get a decent crop. I'm able to do them, February. So 10 degrees. I'm standing in a t-shirt. You tell me what's going on. But anyway, we're going to get on with the news. Okay, so the UK seen some of its worst floods in recorded history. I mean, there was floods in the early part of the last century, but nothing on this scale. These are unprecedented floods that hit the UK. Storm after storm came in from the Atlantic. I was watching them myself from my own sources, and I couldn't believe how many storms were coming in. Now, the people that benefit from the storms, okay, let's talk about that. The insurance companies, obviously. Okay, the insurance companies are linked up to the big banks, as you know, and most of the big UK banks are linked up with America, so you can see where that one's going, okay? And also, it creates employment for England as well. So, it has its upsides. The big clean-up operation, there's going to be thousands of temporary jobs going on there for people. Hopefully it's for the local residents, if you like. Now, the people that don't benefit from this, obviously, are the householders, particularly the householders that weren't insured and weren't prepared and weren't ready. Now we're going to have hundreds of people going out now to try and get insurance in case anything else happens this year. Also, the farmers suffer. There's not going to be much export from the UK this year. I can guarantee you that. The ground's so waterlogged it's going to take many, many months for it to recover. I have my own theories as who's responsible, and I'm just going to come straight out with it. I think it's HAARP, the Weather Modification Programme. Now, what they do is, in a nutshell, they aim beams at the sky from various parts of the Earth, and what it does is it lifts the ionosphere from the stratosphere, creating an air bubble. And warm and cold air rushes into this bubble, if you like, this void, to fill the gap. And what that does is pulls up the jet stream, right, or down, depending on which angle they've shot up into the sky. In this occasion, it pulled the jet stream down towards the southern hemisphere, and that's what's created this unprecedented weather. It's absolutely unbelievable. The wettest few months that UK has ever seen. Get yourselves geared up, guys, because I think there's going to be a lot more similar weather like this as the year progresses. So we're going to move on to the next topic now of the sinkholes. Need I say, record sinkholes in the UK also strange. Well, sinkholes are caused basically when the soft earth beneath the actual compact soil, like your sandstone or your limestone, or it depends on what part of the UK where the sinkholes happen. It could be the soft mud, muck basically, and what happens is it's so water sodden that it basically just collapses from under itself. It is a direct result of the floods. There's other theories that the government are building bunkers underground and it's weakening the structure above, and whatever tickles your fancy, but in my opinion it's a direct result of the floods, and it just shows you how waterlogged the UK is at the minute. Expect a lot more sinkholes as well as the months progress. I mean, this is not a new phenomenon to the UK, but it certainly has been a big increase over the past few weeks. I mean, again, gigantic sinkholes, unprecedented for the UK. I mean, they say it only happens, 1 or 2 sinkholes every couple of years. We've had quite a few sinkholes over the past few weeks, guys. It just goes to show you the change in times that we have at this neck of the woods. I mean, Ireland and England, Scotland, Wales were always safe from floods. They were always safe from sinkholes, and the next topic I'm going to get moving on to will be the earthquakes, the uptick in earthquakes that we're having in UK and Ireland. But just back to the sinkholes, it's absolutely unbelievable. I mean, people have died because of this. It's not just a little hole in the ground. A woman from Wales was sucked into the ground in her car, and I believe there was a couple of other people lost their lives as well. Anyway, we'll move on to the next topic, which is the earthquakes. So we had a 4.3 earthquake in the Bristol Channel today. A little bit scary. I'll get back to that in a second. Scientists say that we have these type of earthquakes, the 4.5 magnitude every couple of years. They say we have 5 and upward magnitude every 10 years, and the biggest one we ever had was a 6.9 magnitude. That was back in the early in the last century. These water-based earthquakes are pretty dangerous because they can and will in the future cause tidal waves or tsunamis, if you like, and that'll send it to the east coast of Ireland and the west coast of England, depending on which area that the earthquake has occurred. We had an earthquake here in Ireland in Newry last month. It was 3.1 magnitude. It was felt for up to 10 miles in diameter, by local people. Today's earthquake in Bristol was enough to knock cans and stuff off shelves. You can see there on the graph, just how powerful it was. And earthquakes don't just happen and then stop. This is the start of something new again for the UK, and you wonder why the UK, is being flooded and sinkholes, and now we're starting with the earthquakes. What is the agenda? What is the overall agenda behind the people that are creating these problems? And it's easy for people that don't know anything about HAARP to say it's just the weather, it's global warming. Bullshit, it's not global warming. It is a direct result of HAARP's activities. If you look at Greenland, Greenland's mostly covered in snow and ice, and it's melting away in vast amounts very, very quickly. This is the governments of the world trying to melt the ice so they can get to the goodies underneath the ice, the oil, the minerals, the gold, the silver, whatever they're at. But that's what they're doing. They're melting these big massive sheets in Greenland at the minute just to get to the goodness. Well, anyway, that's all we have for you today, guys. Thanks for tuning in, thanks for listening, and we'll keep you updated. Keep safe.